Welcome to Close to the Bone, Surgeons and Chefs. I'm your host, Alan Shuchuk. And if you're the kind of person that needs a hand in the kitchen, today's show is tailor-made for you because we're going to be cooking some forelimbs. Our own Dr. Rick's going to see our meat man Daryl and grab us some great pig's trotters and veal shanks. And then our anatomist, Professor John, is going to explain that those parts of an animal are very much like our own human hands. Later on, in the kitchen, we're going to meet our special guest, Dr. Vaughan Bowen, who is an actual hand reconstruction expert. Dr. Vaughan is going to cook some pig's trotters and some veal shank in an Osso buco style with me that's going to be delicious. But first, let's try to catch up with Dr. Bowen and find out a little bit more about what he does in his practice.
I'm Vaughan Bowen, and I'm an orthopedic surgeon, and I work doing surgery of the hand and reconstructive microsurgery. A lot of the operations I do take a very long time, and it's a matter of endurance. And the endurance in the operating room and the endurance on the bike have many similarities. I see people with a variety of problems. Most of them are about the hand and wrist. And when I was young, I used to do lots of baking with my mother. She enjoyed baking cakes and things like that that they like to eat in England. Nowadays, I still like the sweeter side of things, and desserts are perhaps my favorite thing to make.
Up next, Dr. Rick hooks up with our meat man Daryl, and we get down to business in the kitchen.
Hey Rick.
Daryl, how are you today?
I'm good. What's on the menu today?
Well, I had to run in to get some pig's feet and some veal shank.
Ah, also buco. Okay, well let's go muscle you up some stuff.
Okay. These are some lovely veal shanks here, Daryl.
They are. They're nice light colored, as veal should be. There's two kinds of veals. There's a pink veal, and that's a little bit older than a white veal. A white veal is strictly a milk-fed calf.
Okay.
All right. And as far as the shank goes, you can see these connective tissues in here. That is because it's a strong part of the animal, the forearm here.
So if we look here, we see that this is further on down, obviously
this,
in a different
This
kind
would
of
be
animal.
from your wrist down, and there's the part of the fore shank on the hog, the muscle coming up in there. And it's not very big, it's only about that big.
Okay.
We don't get a big call for him. Although way back in Grandpappy Freddy days, he did get a call once a week, and the guy would phone up and say, do you guys have pig's feet? And my father would say yes, because he wants to get rid of them. And the guy would say, well, you better put some socks on.
Let's welcome to our kitchen today a handy guy, Dr. Vaughan Bowen. Hi, Doc.
Hi, Alan. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, and welcome to our wonderful world of, what would you call this?
We call them forearms.
Well, welcome to a world of forearms or four quarters. Before we get started, have you ever been to Milan?
I have been to Milan, yes.
Well, we're going to take a little culinary trip to Milan, so I'm glad. Come on over here. We'll show you
Sounds
what we're
great.
going to make. When you say Milan in a kitchen, you're talking about Osso buco. And what we have here are some beautiful veal shanks. What can you tell us about these shanks, Doc?
I understand these come from the forearm, as we would call it. There's a single bone, and that's interesting because that's different from the human. Marrow in the center, and then the muscles around it. The muscles in the human would be the ones that powered the fingers like this.
Okay. Doc, I'm going to get you to help me. We've got a hot pan started here, and to make this Osso buco, we're going to start with a little bit of vegetable oil. And so I'm just going to get that going. Nice hot pan. If I can get you to take the surgical instrument, Doctor.
Great, big one.
We just want to season the Osso buco with a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. So what I'd like you to do, Doc, is just using the tongs, dip these
Dip them
Osso
in the flour.
and then get them into our hot pan.
Hot pan, okay.
That's great. So what I'm going to do, while Dr. Bowen is cooking our shanks, is I'm going to get a pot started on a fairly high heat. Again, a nice thick bottom pot because it's going to go in the stove. And I'm going to make the base for our Osso buco. So I'm going to put some butter, about 4 tablespoons of butter in our pot. Okay, we're going to get our onion, our carrot, and our celery started here. Once we get the onion and the celery and the carrot together, we're just gonna check this Osso buco. What we want is we want a nice brown flour coating, just like that. And you can see how beautiful it is. I'm gonna get you to flip those. We're gonna do a couple other classic Milanese things. We're gonna take a couple of pieces of lemon peel with as little white as you're gonna get on. This is gonna give us a little bit of flavor. And about 2 tablespoons of chopped garlic, not chopped too finely. Now our osso buco is almost done, and in fact, Doctor, if I can just get you to do me a favor here and transfer those osso buco just to the top of our pot here.
Okay.
Turn the heat down a little bit.
They look good.
Yeah, those are perfectly done, nice and brown on the top. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to get some cooking liquid into there so we can put it in the oven and finish it. And again, you don't want to crowd the pan. You want to put about a cup of white wine in there. What we want to do now is we just want to deglaze this pan. So
That is wonderful.
it looked like you didn't trust me there, but really we do know what we're doing. And what we want to do is we want to get all of that nice flour and brown flavor off of the pan. I just want to pour that over the osso buco, and now I can turn that heat almost right off. And there you have it, an osso buco ready to go into the oven. All right, Vaughan, now the best part about making osso buco, we're going to make ourselves a little risotto milanese.
That sounds real good.
Now, you have dinner parties where you cook risotto.
I do. I
And
love it.
what's the secret to a dinner party where you're cooking risotto?
Get the guests to stir the risotto.
And here our guest is going to help me stir the risotto. We've got our pot. If I can get you over there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start our risotto in a classic Italian way, which is to put some cooking fat in the pot, about 4 tablespoons of butter. And because we're making just a risotto milanese, the only vegetable we're going to put into this is some onion. And if I get you to stir that up for me. Now, arborio rice has long been valued. In fact, Italians in the Po Valley had kept it a big secret. Legend has it that Thomas Jefferson, who was a great horticulturist, actually stole a pocket full of arborio rice and took it back to his place at Monticello. I'm going to put about 2 cups of risotto in. I put about 2 small yellow onions in with that butter, so there we go. And now the secret is to stir this. This is now going to be like a sponge. And so what we've got to do is we've got to add some fluid to it as we go along. We have some beautiful boiling chicken stock here, but to give it a little bit more depth of flavor, I'm going to take some white wine. I like to put about a cup in. Some recipes call for less, but it's going to burn right off. There we go. Now the secret to risotto is you don't put all the stock in at once. Put about 3 or 4 ladles just to cover the rice, and then constantly stir it.
This is getting dry now. Do
All
we
right,
need
now it's time for some stock, and that's perfect for adding it. It's just nice and sort of gooey.
Now how much do we put in?
About 3 ladles, and you'll find that will cover the risotto. Now, the other secret to risotto is you want a nice heavy pot. We've got some beautiful Cuisinart pots here, nice heavy bottom that conducts heat. And so I'm going to let
This is the
Dr.
guest's
Bowen,
job.
this is the guest job. All right, our risotto is coming along beautifully here. And like I said, we're stuck here for about another 15 minutes. Our osso buco's in the oven. So when we come back, we're going to go to our zamponi, or pig's trotters. Looking forward to it?
I'm not quite sure. We'll see.
Stay tuned.
Today, we're doing pig's feet